Alright, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today we are going to be trying out some balancing beads, or actually glass beads in this case, because I found them a lot more economical, and I found these tiny ones that, here I'll show you guys, that come in a pretty tight package. They are like micro beads. So tried them out before, they were pretty good, but now I'm going to make sure that I try them out on a set of tires for my 2016 Nissan Frontier. So I figured I'd do this in real time. Let's move this phone over in a much safer location. And we're actually going to put it on the wheel balancer and see how the wheel balancer actually responds to the beads, because I've seen these videos, but I haven't seen them actually in action. I'll let the air run down, and I'm going to be doing a brake job on this as well, because the pads are getting kind of low, rotor's getting kind of rusted up a little bit, so we're going to change all that out. And I definitely need a new running board for my truck. This one's starting to rust out on me, but other than that, everything is, I really like this truck. It's in good shape. Alright, so we're just about done. I think enough that we can pop this tire off. Actually went pretty good. Do the other side. Get this stem out of the way. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to take the weights off these wheels. Since we're not going to need them anymore. I think I had some on this other side yet, right there. Alright, so, geez, there's a lot of weight on these things. All right. Okay. Turn this around, get in the right position. Good there. Got to just duck off the last tire I did. Okay, there we go. Okay. tire. You know, I didn't decide on this. Going with the black. I think we'll keep it the black. All right, so this tire does have a dot, so I'm actually gonna try to help everything out and get the dot as close to the valve stem as I can. Get a little marker crayon. So basically, we're gonna follow the cross. So we're gonna say, we're gonna put the valve stem right there. All right, and let me soap these up. Now, new tires, brand new tires, even older tires, you gotta make sure you lube these things really good because they will stick. Stick, you are going to have a hard time getting them on top of potentially having a bead break on you, and you don't want that. And I think I might need a new brush soon. Okay. I don't know about you guys, I'm actually pretty excited about this. These are the new way of mounting tires, because you can just have about any position on a tire and balance them. However, I like to get it as close and as perfect as possible because that's just me. All right, at this point I'm going to line a valve up to that, and so I'm going to go for that opening in there, and this calls for 4 ounces of weight for that size tire. So we're going to come over here, our handy dandy scale. Okay, we're going to tear that out. So 4 ounces. Some glass beads. Let's see. A little bit more. Let's take some out. Let's see how close we get. I'm not going to make it super precise, but let's. All right, so there we go. 4 ounces. 4 ounces of glass beads. Now, normally I have a better funnel, but I had so much going on in the shop, I'm not sure where it actually went. But anyway, we're going to use this. You're going to stick that down in there. And that should pour pretty good. I got a little rough spot in there. Take it on a little bit further in here. I think we got all of them out. Alright, so obviously got a better funnel, but looks like they are all in there pretty good. Put this back, grab my gloves. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see all the beads. They're down in there. Good camera angle. Alright, so we're going to try to get this lined up as best as we can. Get my little hearing protection, other light out of the way. And if you buy these Mayflower tire machines, man, get this arm on it. You absolutely need that. Alright, put that down. We're going to give us a little more lube. Good time to rip these off. So bring this up to about 35 pounds just for balancing. I like to keep them around 38, but with an analog dial, I'm not going to get it that accurate. And you see, I got it pretty much lined up where I wanted the notch. So, and if you haven't heard of balancing beads, how they work is through centrifugal force. They will actually find the, I guess, the lighter side of the tire and kind of like hold themselves to that spot, so you have a perfectly balanced tire all the time. What I like about it, so if you hit a curb or you off-roading, you hit a part of a trail, you get a gouge in your tire, you can throw your balance off by 1/4 ounce to 1/2 ounce, and then you got to rebalance your tires. And if it's a front tire, it doesn't run so well. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to put the valve stem in. All right, let's do this real quick. Obviously, you want to put your valve stem in a little bit earlier than that, but I get talking, I get distracted. Okay. Let's see where we're at. We're getting there. 35 is right in the middle of that notch. A little bit more. Okay. So you got that tire. Let me grab my cap. We'll release that. And you can hear them running around in there. All right. Take that off. Let me turn my tire balancer on. Let it boot up. Okay. Now let me find out what wheel. Okay, we'll use this one. This cup is going to work, and probably not. Let's go with the little one. I don't like using this one too much because I think it mars the surface, but my truck ain't so worried about it. Customer's car, maybe doing something a little bit different. Okay, so let's do the measurements. So we're gonna say that is, let's go with, not quite 7. Let's go with 68. Measure our bridge. Okay, so 7.5. And these are 16-inch rims. But always, let's double check. Yep, 16. I don't know if you can hear it in there. Okay, moment of truth. Let's go for a balance. And you can tell they flatten out, and then you don't hear all that noise after they get going. Oh, the balancer does not like that. All right. Oh, you know what? I didn't even do aluminum. Hang on, let's switch that too. Let's do that to aluminum. All right, give it another spin. So you can hear it quiet down, so they all kind of find their place. So that's what the balancer is calling for. Now let's see what it does if we do it a couple times. So you got the 1 1/4 and a 1/2 ounce. So you can see how the weights are starting to change on it, because as those glass beads position themselves, they're going to find a different spot every time to lie on, but they quiet down at a certain point. I'm thinking that this balancer doesn't go, yeah, see it's holding right around there. Okay, so the balancer test obviously is a failure on this thing. But the real test is going to be how it is on the road. So I'm actually going to leave these in here, and I'm going to bring it for a test drive, and we're going to see how that works. But just for 3 times the charm, let's spin it around one more time. So you can see how the weights are different every single time. But the real test is going to be testing them on the road. So I'm going to take this off, do my brake job, do the rest of the tires, and then we'll bring it for a ride and we'll see how it works. All right, so that's tire 1. Alright, so got the new tires on. Just pulled out of my driveway a couple seconds ago, and so far I'm doing about 30, and I don't feel any issues. So we are gonna bring it out into the highway, and we'll see how it does. And girl on a bicycle. Alright. So let's get out of my development, and we'll bring it up onto Route 80, which is near me, and we'll see how that goes. And so far, I'm almost at 40, which is actually speeding in my development, but the real test is when we bring it up to speed. See if we got any visible shake or anything without the wheel weights. And so far I'm pleasantly surprised at how quiet these new tires are, as well as how smooth they feel. And I know I got the air on, but it's like really hot out. But let's alright, so 50, 55, and it feels pretty good. I don't feel any weirdness in the steering wheel at all. Fire truck racing by. Man, everything's going on today. Alright, so I'm doing 60. Just about 60 miles an hour. And it feels good. Don't hear any weird road noise coming out of the tires. And again, these are no wheel weights on this thing. But we're going to come up to the traffic light up here. I know this is probably going to be pretty long, but I definitely want to bring this up to like about 70, maybe 75. We'll see how the highway speeds and stuff do with this. And normally I would go straight, but there is always a speed trap there. So let's try to avoid that. New brakes are gripping really tight, so now we're going to sit here through another light. Again, let's see if we get through it this time. This guy like dies right in front of me. All right. Trying to get up to speed. Alright, cruising along at the 50-55 range. And usually that's where you'll start getting a lot of road vibration. So far, so good. Alright, back down to 60. Feels good. We're going to be coming up to 80 here, so we'll be able to hop on that and get up to some highway speed. Smooth the road, and it is like driving on glass. Glass beads. All right. Okay, here we come. Gonna go out onto Route 80. Cruising along at 70, and there's no vibration whatsoever other than the typical bounciness of the road. But it feels pretty good. Let's bring it up a little bit. And it feels pretty good. So yeah, going into a turn, doing 70-ish, and still no vibration. It feels great. Okay, let's bring it down to 65. I'm definitely not one to push the envelope when it comes to the speeds. I'm just going a little bit fast today to see how everything feels. And like you said, we feel pretty good. You see from my hands and steering wheel, it's really not too much vibration at all. Just your normal road bumps. So yeah, I would say these things definitely absolutely work. Look forward to seeing how the life of it actually is after a while. But yeah, it feels pretty good. Like even in turns, it feels nice and smooth. All right, Brian Garage Mahal, glass beads. Give that a thumbs up. All right, be safe out there. All right, so one last thing about the balancing beads that I found is that it made balancing a tire so much easier. In fact, I basically had to totally skip the process of using a tire balancer at all. So I'll put the link to these glass beads, which I think are a lot more economical than the ceramic beads that they're offering. And so far, I've put on probably about 1,000 miles on the truck since I did the initial insertion of the beads, and found out that the ride actually got better, of all things, after a couple days. Probably because the new tires, the ply was kind of like stiff and stuff, and now the tires are a little more looser after about 1,000 miles or so. But yeah, absolutely, what a difference compared to using like any of these clip-on weights or any of these tape-on weights, for example. So now it kind of takes the guesswork out of the whole process. Just add how many ounces that you need for your tire based on the charts, and you go from there. Something else that I noticed with the balancing beads in the tire is that I guess as the more the tire wears, you would normally have to rebalance the tire after 10,000, 20,000 miles. You get a little shake and a shimmy. That's just because the tires are wearing down. But with the balancing beads, it should actually compensate for that. So there should be no rebalancing of the tire actually ever. So my conclusion is that it's a great new way to balance your tires, and technology-wise, I think it's the way I'm going to go for like all truck tires. Car tires, I'm going to have to experiment around on, like using them out like a high-performance car, like a Corvette, or just a Nissan Rogue that like my wife drives around. Not quite sure on that, but I'll do some more experimenting and update you. But as far as like truck tires, as far as I'm concerned, that is absolutely the way to go. Anyway, Brian for Garage Mahal, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing and liking. Be safe out there.